Okay, what's happening, everyone? I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to another client interview with another one of our amazing clients. Today, I'm joined by Masai, and Masai has done extremely well with our program, and he's been with us for about 6 months now. And he's here on this interview to essentially share what he's gotten up to since joining. So, Masai, for people watching, man, why don't you introduce who you are? Who you serve, and the transformation you deliver to your clients, man.
Yeah, so I'm Masai Brown Andrews. I'm from Washington, D.C. in the U.S., and I've been in EasyGrow about 6 months now. I'm working mainly with small law firms to do automation and AI implementation work. So a lot of their back office work can be automated using technology. And so I essentially come on their team and help them build out those automations to automate a lot of that back office work and help them to be a lot more efficient.
Yeah, amazing. And talk to the people about where you were from a monthly recurring revenue standpoint
Yeah.
prior to joining, compared to where you are right now, man.
Yeah, and I think I'll probably tie in a little bit more context. Before probably about a year before, so I joined EasyGrow in April. The a year prior, I played my last professional soccer game. So I was a professional soccer player before,
Nice.
um, and I played my last game in May of last year of 2024. And then from there, I was kind of messing around trying to start different businesses online. Ended up doing the automation stuff because that's super interesting to me. So ended up in automation and AI stuff and just fell down that rabbit hole, learned as much as I could, still learning as much as I can. But before joining EasyGrow, I think this gives a little bit more context to it. I don't have a business background, right? And so I talk to people all the time, and they're like, what we have these conversations about the hard part of running an AI business, and the hard part is the business part, right? Because you still need
Mm,
leads, you need to close people, you need to have like marketing and sales and all this kind of stuff. The AI part's fun. You mess around with if you like computers, it's fun. You mess around with computers, you build agents and stuff, you build automations. That stuff's fun and cool and learning stuff is fun and cool, but there's still you need to figure out how to make money from it at some point, right? So that was I had the AI part, but I didn't have the business part before EasyGrow. I didn't have any idea of how to create an offer, how to position myself, how to do outbound, cold outbound, inbound, all that kind of stuff. I had no idea about. And so for to put numbers to it, when I joined EasyGrow, I was doing maybe it would vary month to month, maybe $1,000, $2,000 a month. If it was a good month, maybe 2.5, something like that. But it's just taking in whatever projects I could get, I was just taking those on and I didn't really have any sort of system to of acquiring clients at all.
yeah. And where are you at right now, man?
Right now, so 2 weeks ago, I crossed my first $10,000 a month.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. That was when the random pop post popped out the blue. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
another one that doesn't update us throughout, where he just drops the silent shark bomb
Yeah,
in the easy grow. I need a better name for that, by the way. That tag's gone through so many clients now. So yeah, nah, great stuff, Masai. And I think you put it really well there, because that's what a lot of clients that we've encountered have, where they've got an amazing expertise around this one thing, right? But then on the business side of things, as you said, it is a different ball game, where it's like, oh, I gotta know how to sell and communicate, and it's not as simple as me giving the price and that's that. And oh, it's not as simple as sending a message and they'll book an appointment with me. It's a whole like dynamic, right? Or the whole infrastructure you gotta learn.
yeah, completely. I mean, it's basically another business alongside with your fulfillment, that you have to figure
Yeah,
out and you have to run.
yeah, exactly that. Well, look, talk to me about previously, like prior to even joining, right? What were some of the problems you were facing before you joined EasyGrow? And let's dig a bit deeper into that, and then we can talk about the solutions that you found within the program, man. So yeah, talk to me about some of the issues you were facing and what drove you to join the program to begin with.
Yeah, I mean the overarching issue is I just had no idea what I was doing and from a business
Yeah.
standpoint. I mean,
Yep.
I had just no clue. I just knew I knew that I was working with businesses that were making a lot of money, or relative to what I consider was a lot of money, like six, seven figure entrepreneurs I was working with. And I knew I was saving them several hours every week. And then something in my brain was like, well, I'm clearly like, I'm making a mistake here with pricing because if this person's hour is worth 500, 600, $1,000 an hour, and I'm saving this person 3, 4, 5 hours a week, clearly, and I'm making $2,000 a month, I'm clearly making some sort of mistake here. So the main overarching thing was I had no idea
Yeah.
um, about how to run a business, about how to acquire clients, all that kind of stuff. So that was probably the main thing I would say.
Yeah, fair. And then I guess when you were before you joined the program, right? As you just said there, you didn't really have an idea of how to approach certain things, but you were
Yeah.
still able to get, 1K a month here, 2K a month there, and whatnot. What were you doing from a appointment setting standpoint to get appointments and those deals to begin with, man?
Yeah. Even the idea of appointments and setting appointments, all that stuff was I'd never heard of that before, you know?
Yeah.
Was just you talk to people and if you can make a thing for them, they give you money, basically was my understanding. But so I was just it was mainly my warm network. So it's people that I knew. I'm
Yeah,
fortunate
fair.
that I'm in a good place. Washington, D.C. has tons and tons of entrepreneurs here. It's probably one of the best places you can be in the world for, you know, having a warm network and being able to talk and meet people in person. So it was mainly people that I knew. And it was literally I would build something for someone and they would say, "Hey, my other friends want the same thing. Can you do it for them also?" That was essentially my entire appointment
Nice.
strategy.
Nice, man. Love it. And then talk to me about day one of the program. You just joined this. In your words, you said you don't have a clue about business, right?
Yeah.
How did you start to approach the program? Like, talk to me about the general flow of things for you to get to where you are now, man.
Yeah, I mean, I came to the program because I watched a lot of Charlie's content already. And
Hmm.
so one, it's packed with a lot of value. One, two, he obviously knows what he's talking about. And three, obviously his methods work because I became a client the same way that he through the same
Yeah.
method he used in the program, right? So obviously it works. I think from my perspective, I kind of from watching some of Charlie's content, I'd had the idea of basically almost being pessimistic with time frame, right? So like in my mind, I think my goal for this year was to hit like 6K a month or something, you know? And I was like, oh, maybe I'll hit 10K a month in 18 months or whatever it was. But that I think that helped me because you kind of look at the different modules and you see these videos that are 2.5 hours, 3 hours and 45. You know what? You see these like monstrous videos. And I think if you're approaching it from the perspective of expecting like an overnight success or anything like that, then it's going to be really difficult for you to sit down and go through the content and do the work that's going to be required before you see the results. So I think I was in a good space in that from at least that perspective because I was
Yeah.
prepared to put in the effort towards the program and act on the content for a long period of time before seeing results. But I think that's probably the mindset.
Yeah.
So the mindset that helped me the most probably.
Yeah. I'd say, Masai, you came in the best way possible because you came in with like a completely blank mind in the sense where you didn't know business or anything beforehand. So it's not
Yeah.
like you took other programs or had some, oh, this is the way you should sell, or this is the way you should get leads. You just came in with a completely blank sort of notebook in your mind where it's like, great, I'm just going to take in everything and just execute here, which is why you've done so well in such a short space of time, man. Um, so for someone that is just getting into understanding the business side of things, talk to me about acquisition genesis, because that's like the foundations for everything, especially teaching you how to think and ultimately how to be script proof, how to be tech proof if anything changes, because it teaches you how to adapt and whatnot. So tell me how you found that, especially as someone who didn't really have a clear understanding of how to navigate the business beforehand.
Yeah, I think it's probably the most valuable part of the program. Now I think it's the most valuable part of the program in my opinion
Mhm.
because I believe everything else is variable. I think the outbound systems you can they're obviously very good and they work, but you can vary them to some extent. You can kind of change things around in the outbound systems or inbound systems, that kind of stuff. But the understanding the foundational principle of like this is how someone goes from being a stranger to becoming a client, right? They see this and they see this and they see this. Then you say these words to them and then, they're a client at that point. And kind of having that entire thing broken down, that was that was probably the most helpful thing for me. And to be fair, I have to go back through it again because I haven't gone through it in I mean the first I've only gone through it the one time that's when I came into
Mhm.
the program. So I do need to go back through it, but I think that was the most impactful part of the entire
Love
course.
it. Yeah, love it. And that's what all clients, especially the ones I interview, tend to say, right? Because people easily get trapped into thinking, oh, what's the magic script?
Yeah.
what's the magic outreach method and whatnot. But that stuff, it doesn't matter unless you have the awareness of what to do with it and why it's built the way it is. Because
Yeah.
then you can tweak it in your favor. And it's kind of like with what you're doing, Masai, where you're building out your systems and whatnot, but you're not copying and pasting it. You're actually understanding it.
Yeah. You know, you're completely right. You're completely right. And then it's exactly that. It's a foundation of how to think, and it's a paradigm of how to look at client acquisition.
Yep.
And because obviously, if everybody does the exact same outbound system, so the exact same market, like obviously that's not going to work for everyone, you know.
Yep.
But if you can understand psychologically and also from the perspective of the market as a whole, why people get interested in something, why they book a call, and then why they end up buying at the end, then you
Yep.
can figure out how to design everything else around that.
Yep. There we are. Let's talk appointment setting, man, because this will be a fun one. So before you're just going right, warm leads, whoever, normal conversations, normal text, and whatever comes, right?
Yep.
Talk to me about how things changed when you joined EasyGrow. How
Yep.
did your appointment setting system evolve to something that was predictable, man?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even know appointment setting as a term before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I know what the word appointment means, I know the word setting means, and I can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
things mean together, but I no idea of the concept itself. So my before EasyGrow, I wasn't doing really any appointment setting. I would just work on projects, kind of talk to people, and get work that way essentially. And then from EasyGrow, that was the first time I had the idea of like putting people into different buckets of here's your market as a whole, here's the people you've engaged, here's the people who have expressed some interest, here's the people who have booked a call from that interest, and kind of actually having a pipeline that was that I could visualize and see and understand what was actually going on. That was the first time I had that. And so then from the perspective of the numbers, right, of like how many calls was I booking prior and then through EasyGrow, um a prior was it would just to be fair, I would get maybe a call or two a week prior, just random, just
Fair.
from random
Yeah.
stuff. And then with EasyGrow, I'd say I at least doubled that, probably 5 or 6 calls a week at the peak. Because to be fair
Nice.
with fulfillment, I've
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah. We spoke.
of we talk about that, and I have to get everything back up and running again. But it was also like prior to EasyGo, I didn't have a market and a niche, right? So I was just getting random calls from different people, and it's a very different thing to get 3 or 4 calls from people that you're specifically targeting in your specific market and niche versus just random calls. So even if it would have been
Yeah.
a situation of me going from 2 calls, 2 random calls before Easy Growth to 2 calls a week of people in my market that are interested in the service, like that's a very different situation from a business perspective. And I think that even that would have been worth the transformation.
Yeah, for sure. We'll actually touch on that shortly as well. But with the appointment setting thing, just to wrap up on this side, um, what system were you using to generate the appointments?
DM sorcery, LinkedIn outreach
Yeah.
mainly. I found that worked for me because the legal market is a very skeptical market,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very difficult to do completely cold stuff to them, right? They have to at least be able to see who you are and
Yeah, yeah.
proof of your work and that kind of stuff. So I messed around with cold email a bit, but that's I think in that market is very tough, I think, with cold email.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, am I correct in saying, Masai, you've obviously alluded to it because we've spoken. You're predictably booking 5 to 6 a week. You can easily scale it up, but you've chosen not to just to focus on fulfillment.
Yeah, yeah, because I
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, because I still have to figure out the fulfillment, how I can build the fulfillment system that's a more
Yeah.
scalable now. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So for people watching this, Masai pretty much went from not knowing what appointment setting is, no system, and then he literally has a tap he can turn on, and he's chosen not to turn it on as much because he wants to work on the fulfillment side, which is fantastic. So we haven't even maxed out the potential of the system yet, which is so exciting for what's to come. So yeah, on that, Masai, how does it feel on your end to have something predictable as opposed to operating how you were before, man?
Yeah, it's cool. It also gives you, I mean, I don't know if cool is the best adjective to describe it, but it's it's good to know.
Yeah,
It's it just lets you, it gives you more accountability and more responsibility because you know that whether or not you book calls and close deals is your fault, you know? Instead of kind of having it up in the air, you know exactly what steps you have to take in order to book those calls and and get those sales in. So I think it just put a lot more power in my hands essentially.
Yeah, love it, man. Love it. Talk to me about the niche side of things because obviously, as you know, we go over the offer. William E helps out with the offer audit and all the good stuff, right? You mentioned before you were targeting anyone and everyone,
Yep.
and now you specifically focus on lawyers. How important was that shift in having the success you have now, man?
Yeah, I think it's exponentially important because on one hand, marketing obviously is a lot easier, right? Because it's very difficult to it's that common quote that if you talk to everybody, talk to nobody, right?
Yep,
So marketing's a lot easier if you talk specifically to one market. I got some clients from inbound from YouTube, you know, because
nice. Yep,
those I mean those are great. Those are super easy.
yep.
But but it's because I was using legal specific software in my videos and
Mm-hmm.
talking about specific problems in the video, right? So
Yeah,
it'd be a video that gets like 60 views, but you're still able to close the client from it or something like that. So the marketing side makes it easier. And then also from a delivery side, it's with automation work or any sort of software work, it's gonna be extremely difficult to deliver. It's already difficult to deliver. It's
yep,
gonna be way more difficult to deliver if you're delivering for different types of niches over and over again and learning different platforms and all this stuff. So
yep,
it helped a lot for marketing, also helped for delivery as well.
yep. Fantastic stuff, man. And like it's like you put it there, a lot of the times people fear, oh my God, I need to niche down. I'm going to, narrow and there's only a select few people that are going to work with me.
Yeah.
But actually, if you stay broad, no one's gonna run to you, man. Like you're just, you might get a couple clients here and then. I've seen it firsthand, to be honest. But it's like when you position yourself as a specialist, it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Everyone starts coming to you, even through your YouTube videos, man. People find you because you're a specialist. Those
Yeah.
lawyers would not have found you if it was some general automation stuff, right?
Yeah. And hold on, I was gonna say something. Oh, and I'm even thinking about niching down further, right? Because there's like I've niched down pretty far now because it's not just lawyers, it's smaller firms. I'm looking for less than five attorneys
Nice.
because they're easy to work with and they can move faster. And then also like tech forward, but I'm even thinking about niching down by practice area. So like probate
Wow.
law or probate and family law. I'm thinking about niching down even further. So I would say if somebody's afraid of niching down, is you probably need to niche down even further than you think to get the
Yeah,
results. Yeah.
for sure. That's it. Talk to me about sales process, man. So I know before you mentioned it was like a sale was just a normal conversation. If they want it, you have it and whatnot. How's
Yeah.
your sort of paradigm shifted after going through our sales training and just seeing that what the actual sales process can do for you, provided you have the right one in place?
Yeah. No, I have to be honest with you. I haven't even finished the sales training, to be honest.
No way.
Oh, because I just went through acquisition genesis. I started my outbound systems and inbound systems, and then I was just booking so many calls. So I don't
Amazing.
even
Yeah.
know yet.
Sick.
Yeah. I just been I literally just hop on calls with people and they
That's
talk what the problem is and I just close them
Well,
that way.
that's crazy because it's like, and it's funny because we can save the sales stuff for part two interview if you've got time for me, right? So people watching, hold them aside to that. And we have a new module coming out this week, so the
Yeah,
perfect timing. But that's actually quite funny, Masai, because even without a sales process, quote unquote,
yeah,
it just shows you the power of your offer and
yeah.
targeting someone specific and the appropriate appointment setting, process you use. By the time they do get on a call with you, provided you've done it right, which you have, they're already half sold, it sounds like.
Yeah, basically. And I think I'm fortunate because AI and automation is a sexy thing right now, you know?
Yeah, very,
If you get somebody on a call and they've seen whether it's YouTube or LinkedIn, they've seen that you actually know what you're doing and that you've delivered for someone else, it's I don't think it's as hard of a sell as other stuff is, you know? I think it's kind of in some ways it's I have the benefit of that. I'm fortunate in that regard, I think.
yeah, 100% in the sense that it's definitely a hot market, but at the same time, right? It's I don't want anyone thinking that's watching thinking, oh, you'll do AI and suddenly boom, it pops off. But because Masai is sort of Masai's not giving himself enough credit here because he spent a lot of time on his offer, asking the questions, even doing the DM sourcer and whatnot. There's a reason they show up the core sales calls they do, and why Masai's able to close them. So no, that's fantastic stuff, man. Because now when we do install the sales process, I'm so excited to see what happens, man. But that's funny. Like you don't even have time to go through what we have now because you're
Yeah.
just booking so many calls.
Yeah, that's basically it's just been calls and work. So that's the my I would like to before the year is done, I'd like to go through everything again and kind of
Fantastic.
reposition myself for next year to have an offer that's more scalable, actually go through the actual sales modules
Yeah.
and actually complete the entire program, to be
Yeah.
honest. I do
Love it,
think
man.
yeah.
Masai, I'd love to hear your mindset around that actually, because a lot of people that are watching, people that are already clients actually, they always say, "Oh, I need to do the sales module before I start booking appointments. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna know how to call them and whatnot." With
Yeah.
you, no problem at all. You just said, "Yep, appointments. Let me just get on the call." Talk to me about that mindset, man, and why it's so important just to get stuck in.
Yeah, it's a really good question because I had the same sort of idea of, I think I even asked it in the community at some point. I was like, well, what's the correct order of things? Is it
Yeah,
Genesis, outbound, then sales modules, then start running the system, or what the correct what the correct order of operations would be, right? But
yeah,
I think it's just not trying to solve a problem that you don't have yet. Like if you don't have calls yet, you don't have a sales problem, and so you don't need to solve that problem yet if it doesn't exist for you, I think.
yeah. That's it. And it just goes to show that even if Masai didn't close clients, right? Somehow I say somehow, but it's not common for someone to just crack on and 10K a month without watching the sales material. So I think you're a first man. But even if you didn't close those clients, you would have gained a lot of knowledge and a
Yeah.
lot of like learnings from just getting the calls and whatnot, which makes you better over time.
Yeah. No, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you have to just take a huge amount of action on stuff. So whether it's the outbound stuff, mainly the outbound stuff, probably in the inbound and doing your actual doing the outreach,
Yeah.
that's kind of the main thing because it's really good content, but at the end of the day, it's just theory. So once you get onto the field, things might be different than what you expected
Yeah.
them.
Super important. Sometimes consumption can be false sense of productivity. It's
Yeah.
just procrastination. So that's the
Yeah,
danger
exactly.
of going through some of our like we had a client who went through self-transcendence like 6 times,
Yeah.
but the business was not moving, and it's like stop watching stuff, do anything. So to any of you watching right now, you don't have to be a client of ours. If you know you're procrastinating and you feel good about watching a video,
Yeah.
drop the video, pick up the phone, dial, and just do on the side and take sales calls without, bloody having a process. Just get stuck
Yeah.
in. So, no, well said, man. Masai, talk to me about what you love about the program. Are there any sort of highlights that you personally, like more than anything else? So, for example, you've got the videos, you've obviously got the group support, the coaching calls, and whatnot. Is there anything in particular that really resonated with you and you liked above everything else, man?
Yeah. I do want to say one more thing on the learning, kind of the learning doing
Please go
thing.
for it, man. Yeah,
I mean, I think the best thing to do is just learn, like get as much out of whatever you learn as possible. So if you watch like an hour-long video and that then enables you to take like 10 days of action, then it's better for you to just take all that, like as soon as you watch the video, take as much of the action as possible
send it.
and then come back to once you hit that wall that you can't, like I'm kind of hitting that wall again of how far I can go without getting new knowledge, right? So once you hit that wall, then you kind of come back and learn again. But I think if you can act, you should just act, and then if you once you
Yeah,
can't act, then you should come back and learn, I think. But then you were asking about the program, and to be fair, this kind of ties into what I just said, is because there's so much in the program could probably literally just be acquisition genesis and self
yeah,
transcendence,
yeah.
right?
We've had, yeah,
And leave it at that, and then everything else you can probably give somebody like a Google sheet or something like that, and then tell them to figure it out from there. You could probably do that, but the I mean, those are two things that I went through, and then a little bit of outbound stuff. And from there, literally the past 6 months, it's just been action and calls and then delivering that kind of and all that
yeah.
stuff. So I've massively underutilized the program. I think when I was on the call with you guys, the Q&A last week,
That's probably your first call, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's my third call, I think, that I've been on
Yeah.
in 6 months. So I haven't really used the calls. I haven't completed all the courses. But there's a lot of value in it, and it gives you a springboard to take a lot of action from. And even for me, kind of taking next steps, I think even just showing up to the Q&A on a weekly basis and
For
having,
sure, man.
yeah, having you and having Will be able to kind of critique what I'm doing and give me a little bit more clarity on which way to go is going to be hugely valuable, I think.
Yeah, man. It's one of those ones. I have no doubts you'll probably join for the next 2, 3 weeks, and we won't see you for another 6 months. And that's not me begrudging you, by the way, but that's how that's how a lot of high achieving clients perform. To be fair, it's like even in the mastermind, man, where I've had clients, so in our mastermind, people get 4 events a year. I've had
Yeah,
clients come to one and I'll never see them again. Then I'll
yeah,
check in with them to see if everything's okay and wrong, or if anything's wrong because they paid a lot of money. They go,
yeah,
"Oh no, we're all good. Sorry, we haven't
yeah,
been in touch. That one event is all we needed.
yeah,
We're just taking action." And it's like, "Oh,
yeah,
fair enough." But yeah, it's like you fit that same mold, man.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
I think that's really it. It's just yeah, it's taking as much action as you can. Because there's even from some of the content on like Charlie's YouTube channel, you can kind of get your first steps from there, you know? Um
yeah, for sure. And the academy,
yeah, exactly, exactly. You have that
yeah,
also. It's free, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just that, it's just taking as much action as you can.
Yeah, that's it, man. Love it. Masai, talk to me about your business operations. How many clients do you have? Is it just you at the moment, which I'm assuming it is, team members, like what you're planning for the future as well? What's the next revenue target, team to structure goal and whatnot?
Yeah. So just me right now.
Love it.
Um yeah, so doing everything operations wise, obviously have the marketing aspect of things is LinkedIn and YouTube, and then outreach directly on LinkedIn. And I think I'm gonna start doing I've gotten some stuff on accident on Facebook, but
Yeah.
I'm or like intentionally actually using Facebook on purpose to get clients.
Sick.
Um, so yeah, so LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube for marketing. Sales, obviously I take the calls, and then delivery, I do the back end delivery stuff as well. Um, so that hopefully, does that kind of answer your question about
Yeah, yeah,
operations?
for sure. You're basically a one-man army, man. And in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
clients, you've got like, I think you got four you mentioned on the call, right?
Yeah, four clients on recurring, and then I have
Nice.
a couple clients on like project-based stuff as
Sweet.
well.
Love it. What would you say is the next goal for you? So you went from 0 to 10 in 6 months. What
Yeah.
would you say the next 6 months look like for you in terms of revenue and then also team structure and whatnot, man?
Yeah, I think so. The goal I've set in my mind is to hit $100,000 a month. And in my time frame for that is, I mean, I haven't really set a time frame. I'm thinking 18, 24 months, something like that. Um,
Yep.
and then that's just forces me to just reimagine everything I'm doing now. Because obviously what I'm doing now can't scale to that. So I have to think about I have to go through EasyGrow again, actually complete everything and do some restructuring from there. So that's my main target. I think 6 months from now, I think I can be looking at a goal would be probably about 30 grand a month, 30, 35, somewhere around there would be
Yeah.
target 6 months down the line.
Yeah. And it that's more than viable because right now you're doing everything yourself. And then the
Yeah,
outbound, you're not even doing it at scale
yeah,
by choice. And then even more funnier, the inbound stuff, you're not even doing it with intention and people are
yeah,
still coming. So it's like, great. And you don't have a bloody sales process.
yeah.
So yeah, sick, man. This is going to be a strong, second half of your tenure, which is going to be fantastic, man. Absolutely love it. Masai, talk to me about how version one of you looks compared to the version that I'm speaking to now in terms of any identity shifts you've had in order to make the business work, man.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think the yeah, that stuff is really powerful. That entire module is really powerful, self-transcendent stuff. And then I think what it is it's kind of tapping into the things that you've neglected or the thing that's almost the opposite of what you are. So I've been, like I said, I was a professional athlete for a while. I've always been a really like type A disciplined person, just, basically do work and and just achieve and perform was my standard for myself. But I was never really good on the empathy side of things, you know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
empathizing with where other people were or trying to be like compassionate and helpful to other people, that was sort of my weak point. My thing was just like achieving, and if other people are not achieving it,
Athletes zoning.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, if they're not achieving, that's their fault, and they can fix that on their
Yeah.
own. But well, obviously, as a business, that doesn't work like that because you have clients, and now their problems are your problems, and so kind of tapping into being more empathetic, thinking about how I can not because if you're an athlete, it's basically all about you, right? It's you perform
Yeah.
so you better so you can get a better contract or whatever it is. But as a business owner, it's not about you at all. It's all about your clients. And so
Yeah.
trying to think more and put myself in their shoes more and try to really put myself at service to them and try to maximize the amount of impact I can have on their life. I think that's been probably the biggest identity shift. And also being more open, being more vulnerable and sort of the content I put
Yeah.
out, that kind of stuff. That's been those have been big shifts, I think, for me.
Nice, man. Did you have any limiting beliefs prior to the program in terms of, oh, this definitely doesn't work, or, you can't set appointments like this, or business can't be done that way, or anything like that? Or did you relatively have an open mind and, it was a case of you don't know what you don't know?
I definitely did have some limiting beliefs,
Hmm.
but I would say I was fortunate in a few things. One, I didn't go to university because I was playing football in overseas, so I didn't go to university, so I didn't kind of have that I never got that paradigm installed in my brain. And then I never worked in like corporate or like
Yeah.
the normal business world, so I was like I didn't have those two frameworks in my brain that said that this is the way you have to do things. So I was open to other things. But in terms of limiting beliefs, one was pricing. So now
Mm,
like I used to charge like a couple $100s. I used to charge a couple $100s flat for bills that would save people thousands and thousands of dollars every month. And so like the idea of charging, I think before EasyGrow, I don't think I ever charged more than $1,000 for anything, you know?
mm,
Because it was like to me, $1,000 was a lot of money in my mind, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh, So pricing was probably a big one. And then also when you get the first booking from YouTube, or when I got my first booking from YouTube, that's a big moment because it's like I was putting out videos, but I didn't think anyone actually watched the videos, and I
yep.
didn't think I could actually book a call from the videos. But actually putting videos out, getting people to book calls from the videos, getting people to convert to clients from videos, that was
Big.
a big shift also, yeah.
Yeah, love it. That's a great one, man, especially with the YouTube because we get all the time where it's like, oh, why should I bother starting a YouTube channel? No one's
Yeah.
it's only getting to get 10 views, 20 views, but it
Yeah.
comes back to your niche. If it's niche specific, those 20 people are 20 of your people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those guys are likely to book a call with you, which is probably what happened with you when you saw it like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
That's because it's niche specific.
Yeah. And I think I mean, it's obviously a long-term investment with YouTube stuff, but like the first calls that I got from YouTube, I was just like, whoa, because the people
They're
they're
so
fully
warm.
invested and
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. It's basically like send
You
me the Stripe link, basically, is what they say.
Yeah, yeah, YouTube's a gold mine, man. Like for us, for example, the best performing sort of channels we have is either email or YouTube.
Yeah, yeah,
Because right
yeah,
now it's actually email because they're nurtured over time, but
yeah,
partner that with YouTube, it's like a no-brainer by the time they're on the call.
yeah.
Which is perfect, man. But no,
And that's your
abs so, go on, yeah, yeah.
well, two-part question. What one, how much outbound do you guys do now? One, and then two is it realistic to scale a business to multi six, seven figures purely based on inbound YouTube and email lists and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, great question. See, we're flipping the interview now. So first,
Yeah.
first one, right? We actually, and this would be good for people watching as well. At this moment in time, we actually stopped doing outbound on our end with setters because we found that it was more valuable to put the time and energy and even budget towards ads, emails, and even making YouTube organic work, especially at the scale we're at. And then to answer your second question, Masai, it's definitely viable to get to like multi six figures, where it's like you just through YouTube organic setting emails and whatnot, you can really get to like 500, 600K a month.
Yeah.
without any paid ads, and that's what we done. However, would we recommend it if you ask us now? No,
Yeah.
because you can actually, for us, for example, we ran ads too late. Not
Yeah.
too late, but life would have been a lot easier if we just added ads to the mixer a lot sooner than 500K a month. Because at
Yeah.
that point, right, it was like a team of 8 setters, and then one setter manager, and then you had two inbound setters, and then the YouTube organic. We were doing like 3 videos a week and whatnot. It was fantastic, but you need to look at things from a you know, like a time standpoint. Like how much time are we putting into this, and what's the return on investment? And it's like, oh, actually, we can just put X amount into ads, save a lot of time, and get the same, if not, better results. So
Yeah.
it's definitely possible, right? But like to people watching this, when you get to that stage where it's like, okay, you're making 20, 30K a month, honestly, turn on ads. Just turn on
Yeah.
ads, start with 3K a month, and then you could easily get to we've seen it firsthand. Businesses suddenly blow up in a good way, 100K a month, all of a sudden out of the blue, and they need sales reps and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super funny because like we're big advocates of doing organic and not ads and whatnot, but I think we
Yeah.
took it to the extreme levels where it's like, oh, we should have parked up a long time ago and made it a
Yeah.
bit more efficient, man.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I wasn't even thinking about ads, to be honest. I was more thinking from the perspective of like cold outbound, you know what I mean? But I guess you guys
Yeah.
kind of scaled past cold outbound, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something you can definitely scale as well until a certain point. And then when you get the proof of concept, you can eventually transition to ads, and we'll show you how to do that, man. So yeah, love it. Masai, um, what was I going to ask you? So yeah, that was the mindset stuff covered. One thing I did want to touch on is obviously you were a soccer player, or the right way of saying it. I'm sorry, I have to do this as a British person. Football, you know what's coming, man. As a
Yeah.
football player, a former
Yeah.
football player, you obviously have an athlete's mindset.
Yeah.
And I always find that interesting because, as you know, because you're an athlete yourself, all athletes that become former athletes, they step out the game, but then the same mindset, the tenacity, the habits, the characteristics, they carry over to anything,
Yeah.
and they end up being number one in that space. And I'm
Yeah.
talking anything. I've seen guys pick up, a regular supermarket job or a sales job in the office, and cleaning or something, and it's just like all of a sudden it's like they're looking to be number one in that,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. So I'd love for you to touch on that mindset, man, and just talk to me about the not just the mindset but the characteristics and traits that you
Yeah.
carried over from playing football overseas to businessman, because I'm assuming it is a key factor in why you've done so well in the 6 months you've been with us,
Yeah.
man.
How much time do you have? Because this
I've got time, man. Let's go unwrap, man. This will be good for people watching. Let's go.
I can talk about this all day. So I think the first thing is that if you, I think Charlie talked about this also. If you have the right information, it's just a question of like your pain threshold to be able to actually apply it and do it. And I think if you're coming from a sports background, like I remember with football, we did a lot of conditioning, a lot of running, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that like that hurts really, it's physical pain, it hurts bad, you know what I mean? And so it doesn't, from my perspective, like sending emails or recording videos and sending videos and stuff like that. That was, I know Charlie talks a lot about pain and like coming over, overcoming mental pain, that kind of stuff. I would rather send emails than do the runs that we used to do. You know what I mean? Like some of the pain was extremely difficult that we used to do. So I think that's one of the main things is just your pain tolerance is going to be probably uh, a bit higher than most people's pain tolerance. Then I think you're also, if you played a sport at a high level, you know what it's like to go from not being good to then 10 years later you're good. You know what I mean? And you understand
Mm-hmm.
like the amount of time it takes for you to
Yeah.
actually,
Great point.
you know?
Great point. Yeah.
Because yeah, because I was basically an average player until I was like 10, 11. And then from when I was 11, I started really training hard. And by the time I was 15, 16, I was one of the better players in the area and able to go overseas and that kind of stuff, right? But it's like, it's 4 or 5 years of you wake up early every day and you train and you go after school and you train and you put a lot of time and effort into it. So I think your understanding of the amount of volume it takes to get good and the time
Great
horizon
point.
to get good is
Massive.
different as well. I think also, um, but there's a bunch of stuff, man. Environment as well. So I think that's another thing with EasyGrow is you get in there, you get in EasyGrow and there's entrepreneurs that do like six-figure months. You know what I mean? And in my personal life, I didn't know anyone that was making six figures in a month. I didn't know that that was
Hmm.
a possibility. And the same thing, the first time I went overseas was going to Spain for a tournament, a Mediterranean Cup when I was 13 or 14. And the style of football and the level of football and the technique and the tactics and all this stuff. Like in America, there's something I don't you seem like you know a little bit about football,
I'm a
no?
big football fan. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
In America at youth level, every team plays with a single nine, with a single forward, right?
yeah, yep, yep.
But at that time I was playing center back. We played against a French team and they played with two forwards.
Hmm. Different
So
ball
like
game.
it's different, right? Because if
Very different.
you have one forward, one center back goes, and the other one covers.
Yep.
But if you have two and one is coming in and one's going out, it's like, bro, they took us
It's a
for a spin.
culture shock. Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. But it's like the same thing with business, right? Because it's like even paid ads. I would have no idea about paid ads unless I was
Hmm.
around people that were running paid ads and like the idea of you can spend 3, 5, 6K. Like most people I know, that's monthly salary for them. You
Yeah.
know, you spend that and you get a return of I don't know maybe 10x on that investment. So just being in that environment, obviously competitive, not wanting to lose. But I think also is just like knowing that you have to get better and that you're probably not good enough at this point in time. You know what I mean? Like I've played
Yeah.
against, I was a decent player, but I played with in some of my teams I played with players that came from La Masia and Barcelona, from
Mm,
Castilla.
yeah, different.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? With guys that were like internationals for Nigerian national team, U.S. national team, like
Yeah.
Champions League player. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's levels to every game, you know, and so it kind of humbles you and tells you like you just have to go home and train a lot and come back and perform better, you know? That's really it. I think kind of when you get in environments around people that are really, really at the top of their game and whatever sport it is or whatever, whether it's sport or business, it humbles you a lot and lets you know that the reason that you're not having the result you want is because you have a lot of work to do and you have to improve a lot. So I think
Yeah.
that's probably the main thing I think.
Yeah. It's amazing, man, to hear your thoughts on that, and thank you so much for sharing because if you're not an athlete, right, you may step into this world of business or whatever it is, and you'll think, yeah, I'll get it cracked in 1, 2 years and whatnot. But
Yeah.
if you are come from an athletic background, any sports and whatnot, like you said, Masai, you put it perfectly. It can take 10 years of training since youth
Yeah.
to get just a tiny bit good.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
and that mindset's so important, especially in business, where it's like, all right, I'm operating in a 10-year time frame, and
Yeah.
it's just natural to you. Whereas others just want, especially nowadays, overnight success and whatnot, and then they
Yeah.
fall apart, man. So no, that's absolutely fantastic. And it's also to do with the fact that um, you know, just the mindset around it where it's like, even if you're around people better than you, you're getting better.
Yeah.
You're getting, so if and you're coming up with new challenges, those two strikers is like, oh, I'm learning something new here. La,
Exactly.
La Masia, for people who don't know, that's Barcelona's academy, which is without saying one of the best academies in the world. You're
Yeah.
playing against those guys. It's a humbling, but at the same time, you're getting better. And I think this is a great way of putting it. People on the outside that watch athletes, you look at them and you think, even in football, I'm guilty of this. I'd look at some of the players on my team. I support United. I'd look at them. I'm thinking, oh, how's this guy on my team? Like this is how you in my. But I'm coming from laser ignorance. That same guy has spent doing 20 years on the job since he was
Yeah.
four years old. It's not easy what he's
Yeah.
doing. Even though he may not be as good as everyone else, he's still
Yeah.
very good. If he comes to a five-a-side, he's laughing at everyone. And
Yeah.
it's like I share the same thing in person where if I like so I do Muay Thai. If I go
Yeah.
to my in lesson, right, and then my coach is kicking the crap out of pads, I'm like, "Fuck, how's he do that?" And it's 20 years.
Yeah.
20
I,
years.
I have to say from an athlete's perspective, we do the same thing. Because it was even when we're
Mm,
young players, there's like ratings. This is the number one player in our class
yeah.
or whatever. And then once you get older, if you sign a professional contract and you play in professional teams, you start playing with guys that you saw on TV or that you see on TV, right?
Hmm.
Or you're training with them or whatever. And every single time I played with somebody who either I'd seen play on TV or who had played like high level Champions League or Europa League, or there's in South America, Copa Libertadores. It's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
Champions League of South America. I had a teammate that played that. But these guys are like 10 times better when you train with them versus what you see on the field. You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
there's so much levels and layers to it. And I think the same is with business, right? So it's like even like someone you take Alex Hormozy or Charlie Morgan, whoever you want to take, you can watch their YouTube video and you can go, okay, yeah, maybe I could do that or whatever. But you don't understand how much of
Nah.
time and energy and skill is actually going behind this. I think Hormozy is probably the biggest one because he's very good at communicating in a very simple way.
Yep.
If you actually look at what he's doing and if you look at some of his more in-depth content, like he understands all the numbers
Y-
really well. He's a super smart guy. He just keeps it really simple when he communicates.
Exactly. If you look at Hormozy's like oldest content and even beyond the YouTube stuff, if you read his books, he talks
Yeah.
about his old life when he was coming up. He even admitted he was clueless, but
Yeah.
he was in the game for so long. He's able to simplify everything now, which is fantastic. So yeah, absolutely love that, Masai. It's always good to hear an athlete's take on it, because they make the best business people. So yeah, as we sort of round up this interview, Masai, there are two groups of people that watch this. Actually, before we even get to that part, I was gonna ask you, man. So on your sales call, do you remember who closed you?
Yeah, Hannah.
Hannah. Shout out to Hannah. On your sales call, Hannah would have asked you, Masai, how would it feel hitting this goal? How would life change? All that good stuff, the typical sales question, right? Now that you're at 10K a month after 6 months, man, how has life changed, if it even has? And ultimately, how
Yeah.
does it feel just having this sense of control over your business and knowing that you're in a massive upwards trajectory, man?
Yeah, I think the trajectory is probably more exciting than anything else because
Hmm.
knowing that I think 10K a month gives you proof of concept, that
Yeah, massive.
you can close sales. I think actually from a financial perspective, it for me personally hasn't changed my life all that much really.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I kind of still live in the same place and do most of the same things. The only thing it allowed me to do was to do some like I went skydiving, for example, That's something I was
Nice.
wow.
Yeah.
But like stuff like that, kind of being able to go and do like just random stuff that I wanted to do. So if that's been good, but I think the main thing is the trajectory because I think going from 0 to 10 mentally is probably this is speculation, obviously, but it's probably more difficult than going from 10 to 100 because from 0 to 10 is like
Hun-
mentally,
100%.
yeah, I think mentally you just have a mindset of I can't make money from 0 to
Yeah.
10. And then once you get to 10, you just look at it as like I just have to
Z
figure out how to scale up what I'm doing already, you know?
0 to 10, that's like the biggest fight anyone can have because it's
Yeah,
like it's an internal war.
yeah,
You'll
yeah,
probably go through 6 or 7 versions of yourself before you make it to then 10K, and you're like, oh, then 10 to 100. You just got the adrenaline, and it's no
yeah,
longer. You're probably feeling this now, Masai. You've seen the potential. You got the adrenaline. You're just so happy. You're no longer operating with weights on your shoulders or nothing. It's like let's sprint to this and let's just
yeah,
enjoy the fight.
yeah,
And it's kind of like you climb up that long mountain. And as soon as you reach it, as you can see, there's more massive mountains, but you're not scared of them anymore. You're gonna go
yeah,
climb them with excitement and whatnot. But no, 100% agree with you. Like we say the same thing. 0 to 10, yeah, financially, of course, is fantastic, but just watch what happens to you as an individual.
yeah,
Completely different person. And then 10 to 100, it's a lot of fun because
yeah,
you know you've got something. Now you just got to 10x it and just it's a game all of a sudden. So yeah, love it, man. Mazai, two groups of people watching this. First group, current students that are in EasyGrow. Second group, people that are probably not a client yet. They're on the fence. They just want to do their due diligence. They want to think about it, all that good stuff. What would you say to current students in EasyGrow in terms of the best pieces of advice you can give in order for them to succeed the same way you have, man?
yeah. I think this is one of the singular best pieces of advice I've gotten for anything in my entire life is to think about the outcome you want and then think about what input would make it unreasonable for you not to succeed at that outcome? So like even a basic thing, if you want to make your left foot better, if you went out and took a bag of balls and you struck the ball 1,000 times every day with your left foot,
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It would probably get better after like a few months, right? And so just think about like if you want to get to whatever your objective is, just think about how much you think it's gonna take you to get there, and then like multiply that by 10, and be prepared to do that, and try to do 10x what you
Yep.
think is gonna take you to get there.
Yeah.
And then for people who are thinking about joining it, I think the biggest thing is, if you can afford it, obviously, the biggest thing is to not be arrogant, and to not think that, like, if you, for example, me, if I knew how to make $100,000 a month, I would be making it now. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm not like I'm not waiting to like surprise everyone, be like, here's me making $100,000 a month. So if you knew how to do it, or if you're capable of doing it, you would have probably done it already. And don't be arrogant and think that you're gonna figure everything out by yourself. Pay people who have already done it and figure it out to give you the knowledge and the expertise to accelerate your journey, I would
Yeah.
say.
There we go. Love it, man. Masai, where can people find you if they want to keep up with you, man?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. It's just my name, Masai Brown Andrews. I don't know if it's
There
gonna
we are.
be there on the video, but YouTube is my name, Masai Brown Andrews, and LinkedIn is my name, also just Masai Brown Andrews.
Fantastic, man. So, guys, I'm gonna link that below, and if you if you turn out to be a lawyer in need of automations, just
There you go.
go hit Masai up, man. He knows what he's doing. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. Well, I'm gonna wrap this one up, guys. I'm gonna mark this as a part one, because Masai's just getting started, and if he's got time for me, like I said, we can do a part two down the line, as long as he's not too busy. So, I want to hold him to that. But yeah, hopefully you guys found this one valuable. Before we wrap up, I'll just do my famous outro here. And by the time I'm doing it right now, I can feel people clicking away because they're tired of it. But if you're someone watching this interview right now and you've fallen into the trap of these get rich quick schemes online and these crazy advertisements and the marketing of start an online business. You'll achieve financial freedom in 7 days. Or, you see these marketing of guys on the beach with fancy floral shirts like, Tommy Vercetti from Vice City opening up their laptop and all of a sudden 50K hits their Stripe account and they close their laptop. They go back to drinking their drinks and enjoying the sun and acting like they don't have to do any work whatsoever, and you think this program is going to do the same for you. I'm here to tell you, sadly, it's not. I'm not going to sell you a dream, guys. I'll never sell you a dream. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a magic pill you can take and you're rich overnight. It requires work. As I always say, if you do come across a magic pill that makes you rich, find me. Send it my way. I'll happily take it. I'm sure Masai would as well. Now, in all seriousness, guys, if you are someone that's watching this, however, and you're willing to put in the work and follow a proven framework to ultimately achieve the business of your dreams and achieve financial and time freedom, then we can definitely help with that. Masai is a fantastic example of this, where again, by his own admission, he didn't have a clue about how to approach business and didn't know what appointment setting is, even though he's fantastic at it now. He doesn't even have a sales process. Yet in 6 months' time, he's been able to scale his business from practically, I know you said inconsistent 1K months, Masai, so practically, more or less 1K to 10K a month, right? And
Yeah.
with ground zero knowledge. All he done was come in, apply the program, ask questions, take in the videos, join free coaching calls across 6 months, and get to where he is today. So if you're willing to put in the work and you're willing to follow a proven framework with coaches by your side, then please feel free to book a call with us and let's see how we can help. And on the other hand, like I said, if you just want to get rich quick scheme, don't do it, because we're just going to break each other's hearts here. You're going to join the program. I'm going to tell you that's not how it works. And then there's just going to be, disappointment and for all parties involved. But yeah, guys, if you still need some further affirmation, this is the 113th client interview that we've done, which doesn't include part twos. Okay. So if you still need to think about it or do your due diligence, check out the other 112 interviews with other clients across different verticals, niches, office, and whatnot, just to boost up your confidence a bit more. But yeah, hope you found this one valuable, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.